The guns fall silent on a peninsula in Virginia. British soldiers lay down their arms. After 6 grinding years, the long war for independence is essentially over. Welcome to History in Decades. I'm Jim Rand, your AI host, and today we're walking through the years 1780 to 1790, the decade that turned a hard-won victory into the beginnings of a lasting nation. The early 1780s still felt like wartime. Fighting continued in the South. In 1781, American and French forces trapped British General Cornwallis at Yorktown. After a siege, he surrendered. That moment broke Britain's will to keep fighting on American soil. 2 years later, in 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed. Great Britain formally recognized the United States as free and independent. The new country stretched west all the way to the Mississippi River. On paper, the revolution had succeeded. But paper is thin. The country that emerged was exhausted, deeply in debt, and held together by a weak set of rules called the Articles of Confederation. The central government could not tax. It could not regulate trade between the states. It struggled to pay the very soldiers who had won the war. Veterans came home to find high taxes, scarce hard money, and the real threat of losing their farms to creditors. In western Massachusetts, the pressure boiled over. In 1786 and early 1787, groups of farmers and former soldiers, many of them led by a man named Daniel Shays, closed down courts to stop foreclosures. The uprising was put down, but it sent a clear message. The Articles were not strong enough. Ordinary people who had fought for liberty were now watching that liberty slip through their fingers because the government could not keep order or protect property. Leaders took notice. In May 1787, 55 men gathered in Philadelphia. George Washington agreed to preside. The official purpose was to revise the Articles of Confederation. Instead, they decided to start over. Through a long, hot summer of debate and compromise, they wrote a new constitution. It divided power among 3 branches. It balanced the interests of large states and small states. It created a stronger federal government while still trying to limit that power. On September 17, 1787, they signed it. Then came the harder fight, convincing the people. Delaware ratified first. New Hampshire became the 9th state in June 1788, putting the Constitution into effect. Virginia and New York followed after intense arguments. By 1789, the new government was ready. On April 30, 1789, George Washington took the oath of office as the first president of the United States in New York City. The first Congress met. Work began on a Bill of Rights to protect individual liberties. In 1790, the first national census counted nearly 4 million people. Rhode Island, the last of the original 13 states, finally joined. Around the world, the same decade brought its own upheavals. In France, the revolution began in 1789. Kings and queens watched nervously. In Britain, the government adjusted to the loss of its American colonies. But for the people living in the new United States, the focus stayed close to home, building courts, paying debts, settling Western lands, and learning how to govern themselves without a king.
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying these deep dives into ancient history, I think you'll love our companion series. The Odyssey, short and engaging retellings, a full vivid retelling of Homer's epic, one book at a time. Join us for dramatic storytelling, legendary adventures, and the ultimate tale of homecoming. The link is right there in the show notes. The Odyssey, short and engaging retellings. Go check it out.
Notable figures of the decade. George Washington stands at the center, the general who won the war, and then the steady leader who accepted the presidency when the country needed him most. James Madison earned the title Father of the Constitution for his careful work in Philadelphia and his defense of the new framework. Alexander Hamilton pushed hard for a stronger national government and later shaped the young country's finances. Daniel Shays, a former Continental Army captain, became the reluctant face of the farmers' rebellion that forced leaders to confront the weaknesses of the Articles. Among the births and early lives of the decade, we find John C. Calhoun, born 1782, and Daniel Webster, born 1782, both of whom would later shape national debates. Andrew Jackson, still a young man in the 1780s, was already showing the toughness that would define him. Closing reflection. This decade teaches a hard but hopeful lesson. Winning a great struggle is only the first step. The real test is what comes after, whether a people can build order, protect liberty, and pass both on. Stability isn't given to us. It must be guarded by vigilant, self-reliant people who are committed to passing it on to the next generation. The men and women of the 1780s had just finished a war. They were tired. They disagreed. Yet they sat in rooms, argued, compromised, and created a framework that has lasted far longer than most of them could have imagined. Their example still asks something of us: to value the quiet work of building and protecting what is good, not only the dramatic work of winning it. This has been History in Decades. I'm Jim Rand. See you in the next decade.